have reorganized all my piles, my oracle cards, and I'm going to shuffle today. I feel called when I was preparing my basket of tumblestones fell all over the floor. So that's for me a sign for me to shuffle today. So they're here, they're ready. And I'm just going to pick what I feel called to and see what the message that brings for us. I'm going to start with the crystal one. Sometimes I do have to read the full meaning of the crystals. So we'll go into that if we need to. And today has been a very enlightening day. There's a lot of aha moments, a lot of awarenesses, a lot of messages coming through to you that is bringing you a little bit more clarity, perhaps some of the clarities bringing emotions. Okay, we are in a full moon with Leo, but these emotions are coming to show you that once you work through these emotions and we work through them and release them, it will bring your strength out of you, your authenticity, your inner power. It will bring that space for you to step into, to be able to bring that new version of yourself. And perhaps that is not a new version, perhaps it's a version that has just been settled in and suppressed within yourself. And that's gold. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, gold, yeah, it's the color of a lion, the fur. Gold is the color of, you know, that we consider the color of the divine. But we need to remember the divine is within us. And as we know that the divine is within us, we cultivate this. Okay, and if you are feeling that a lot of aha moments, clarity, realizations, something about yourself that perhaps doesn't feel necessarily, you know, perhaps it feels a bit unjust, or perhaps it feels a bit you're realizing something about you that is related to ego, is related to some vibrations that perhaps you think you have worked through but is still lingering, and you think, well, that's still in my system, that's still playing within my energy field. It's okay. It's okay. Allow those emotions to come up and allow those emotions to be released. It's just a realization, it's acknowledgement, acceptance, and release. Remember, we touch healing from a 3D perspective, 4D perspective, and 5D perspective. And if you've been on this ascension journey long enough, you have gone through these stages individually. Those that are coming, this new wave of ascension, they're going through these realizations all blended is into one, right? They're seeing the 3D, 4D, 5D all at once. So perhaps we need to be a bit grateful that we have come from a wave where we experience things in stages, which then allows us to kind of like see through in a different perspective. And the waves are coming now and ascending. They are ascending through the 3D, 4D, 5D all at once, and perhaps they are going to bring again a different perspective that we haven't had because of, you know, because of the waves of ascension that we've been part of. If you're following this journey, you've done the healing, you've done the trauma healing, you've done the inner child healing, and you're noticing those little lingering moments where, you know, you are ready to step into your power, you're ready to step into your projects, into your you know, your way of presenting your abilities, presenting your perspectives in within your profession, or perhaps alongside of your profession, to assist others to ascend, to guide others to ascend. If you are in this wave, you are ready. You are more than ready. And these little, I wouldn't even call it bumps in the road, but these little moments where you have these realizations is because you are stepping into these energies, much more in depth with your energy choreography. I've spoken about energy choreography a few times in the oracle cards. Sometimes it comes up and I explain again, and I will explain eventually again if it comes through the cards, but I'll put a link below for that. Today again, I realized something about my energy choreography that I didn't realize was playing out, so I was able to see through that. And it's the same as you're observing a behavior, but you're observing the energy patterns. Yeah, so I'm going to put in here, and that's gold. Just a quick read. Value, confidence, self-worth, money, wealth. You're being urged to look within, to go beyond the superficial personality and connect with your true nature through contemplation and meditation. And again, it's exactly that. We are looking within, and we are seeing different aspects of the same thing. And I speak this a lot. Are you going through the same situation, but are you able to see it differently? I'm going to shuffle this one and see what comes up. So the full moon today feels very powerful. I'm a Leo. I'm feeling it. And I'm sure everyone's going to have a fair share of these realizations and emotions coming up. And what do we do when these emotions come up? What do we do ourselves on a practical level? We simply feel it. We simply feel it. We feel it. We sit with it. We allow the sensations to move through your body. You know, you understand that it's a transition. It's an alchemization. You are transforming these energies. Your heart is transforming these energies so they can be released, dissolved, dissipated, faded. So then you can bring from behind these energies your inner authenticity, your inner love, your inner power, your higher consciousness into unconditional love. So what does it come through? Shared inspiration. Throw yourself into a new project. Be willing to let go of time constraints and rules, and really be aware of whatever fulfills your heart. And absolutely, this, if you are following these videos, if you are in this wave that the cards seems to be reading about, you definitely have a project at hand. You definitely have ideas. You definitely have you know exactly how you want to put it to the world, and perhaps there is a little bit of a lingering or leftover gentle, I'm not even going to call it fear, but gentle reminder of an energy that transmutes through your body when you're ready to step into authenticity. And even though you feel, but I am not afraid, I am ready for this, I really want this, but there's this gentle energy. And again, this is the energy choreography just kind of lingering, that you need to reorganize. That energy choreography is not about controlling, but it's about reorganizing how the energy plays throughout those moments. The dolphins are here also to remind us to have fun with it, have fun with your project, make sure that there is excitement when you are stepping into it. Like I said yesterday, even if you change something about your project, if the excitement isn't there, you're not changing from the heart. You're probably changing from certain lack or limitations or triggers. So be aware of these sensations in your body, these moments that you're about to make a choice, you're about to decide something. You have worked with your higher mind, you have worked with your higher heart, but you still feel these sensations, not unsure, not 100%. Just take a moment back, just take a breath and see, can you cultivate some excitement for it? Can you actually ignite the excitement for it? You know, sometimes we do need to relearn to ignite that excitement. So we are being called to take a little bit of moderation in our speed and, you know, step by step, to allow us to then really observe these moments where the energy choreography is playing out. And I think I'm going to be exploring this topic of energy choreography, and I hope the cards can bring information that I can tap into it to be able to explain more. So yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see what the cards are bringing. And I feel like going for this pile here. And again, I'm going to shuffle. It's not ideal, but I wanted to try a slightly different organization, and we'll see how it goes. And again, I'm here trying. I have many doubts to be here, and I'm here trying. Yeah, I'm here working through my own energy field, my own fears at the moment. Before, in the past, I would hit the play button, the fear would hit in, and I would stop the play button. Now, because there's more tools that I realize I have that I can use, it's about sensing that fear. I'm here talking, and I have these little dots of fear in my chest, and I'm breathing through it. You know, I'm focusing on my heart, mainly on my heart, to be able to bring the cards. And as I do that, I'm moving through. I'm not pushing through, I'm moving through. I'm moving through the fear, I'm not pushing through the fear. There's a big difference here. And I've realized this morning that in the past I would push through the fear, but not look at the fear, but work, you know, bring it with me. This time I'm moving through the fear and I'm dissolving it as I do it. So I'm here stepping into my authenticity. You know, the messages are coming, not just for me, but for a collective. And I hope this is resonating with you. Summer, bask in joy and light. Absolutely. And I like the combination of gold and joy and playfulness, because dolphins is all about playfulness. B is about work, right? And what did I just say when I spoke about in this card? It's about having fun with your project, talking with your project, and having that excitement. How can you ignite the the excitement button? Some people have lived through a lot of trauma and had to switch that excitement button off. Another thing I would love to explore this topic, and it's like riding a bike. You have, you know, you've done the bike, you don't necessarily forget, but you lose practice. And then once you get on the bike again, you're flying. And it's the same thing. Sometimes we do need to learn to reignite the joy, reignite the playfulness, reignite the excitement, so we can cultivate this energy, so it phases out the energy choreography that we once had, where we were suppressing the excitement. And you're probably saying to yourself, but I've healed the traumas that was blocking my, but I'm going through life and the excitement isn't there yet fully 100%. It comes and goes, you know, it's not sustainable. And that's what I'm saying. There's an energy choreography that is playing out, and these are the things that these readings are asking us to do, to kind of slow down step by step, and really pay attention to how you're sensing your body through the things that you're doing. When you have the time, you know, if you're rushing, you know, you're rushing, you do what you got to do. But when you have the time to sit and observe yourself, observe these energies, you will realize that there is an energy choreography, like lingering in, holding you in slightly old patterns, not necessarily fully deep in old patterns, because you're not noticing the behavior, you're not noticing the tone, you're not noticing the way you're speaking. You are changing all of those things, but something still, like just a little touch there. And I would like to take this card, just calling my attention, a quick shuffle. I have nowhere to shuffle. So here we go, that will do. Okay. And I want to make sure we keep going. So I'm not going to take all the cards, just a few. And I feel like it's just flipping a little bit more. My heart is really, really going into a butterfly mode now. Fluttering. And I want to sense that. I want to take my moment to sense that. There you go. Okay. Peter, denial and weakness. Okay. As I was shuffling, I was feeling my heart and I wanted to rush through it. Yeah. Walk the talk, Robbie. Walk the talk. And absolutely, I took another few seconds and the card flipped. And I could have easily gone into that pattern of rushing through it when I felt my heart was asking for more, right? I think I've just kind of showed this without realizing exactly what I was talking before. It's just allowing us to take that little moment. Why is my heart racing? Why is my heart fluttering? Why is my heart going tight? Why is my heart feeling like expanded? Why is my heart feeling like heavy? Why is my chest sinking in? And take that breath and go, right, what is it then? Let me hear it, let me feel it, let me listen. Yeah, and you're taking that moment. I could have taken longer, but the card flipped, I took it. But in reality, I would have taken a bit longer. I would have done a few breaths and really feel the energy, and I would get the clarity. Immediately I would get the clarity. And the second card that came out was already, two came out. I flipped this one first. Holy anger, be the change, walk the talk. Okay, we can easily fall in our patterns, and it's not for us to fall into our own motherboard of self-shame, self-blame, self-guilt. I was going to go into that pattern myself, and I'm learning and I'm teaching myself to take that breath and just ask without the guilt, the blame, and the shame. It's just a gentle question, just a gentle reminder to allow us to reset, to allow us to reorganize the energies, to allow us to really understand why the energies are coming up. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this here, and I would like to get these ancestors messages. Energy choreography can play, is playing all the time, because we are energy. It plays before we think, it plays before we act, it plays before we feel. But having that gap moment where you're just about noticing, becoming aware where the energy is going, yeah, it's the same gap that you get when you're becoming aware of your own triggers that you either just triggered, or you're triggering, or you're about to trigger. When you're noticing, becoming aware when you're about to trigger, you created a gap where you can work with that breath to really analyze, why is the trigger here? It's not why I'm triggering, it's why is the trigger. You want to know why is the trigger here, and then you find out the limiting belief, you find out the thought process, you find out the bond with which trauma it is, the coping mechanism. That's how you find out what the trigger is and why. Nothing more. Not for us to fall in any puddles of mud. So I'm going to take the top one, okay, from the shuffle pile. Relax and hold. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. This is interesting. Do you see how both are standing on a stump of tree? Okay, but here this person is illuminating herself or himself from that foundation that's been broken. And when you go into in that gap that you just about before trigger, you're just about to understand why your energy is shifting, you are in that foundation of that stump of that tree that broke down. You got down to that stump and you finding out why. But when you go with anger, when you go with through the self-blame, self-shame, self-guilt, says here, holy anger, it can make us angry, okay? But if you go into a relaxed mode and you take a breath, you're going back into that gap. That gap is a darkness. Is that darkness that's been like igniting that trigger. Yeah, and be at cause. You are then asking why this, why am I triggering? And then you're illuminated with this awareness, with this realization. I'm really impressed how the cards came up. You become absolutely illuminated with this awareness, and then you're able to make a change. Then you're able to create a reality that is not from self-blame, self-guilt, self-shame, but is from a change into that new version of yourself. And when I say new version, it's not a new version of someone you never knew or something about you that you never knew. It's just something you haven't remembered yet, something that you have always been from the moment you came into earth as a baby, but you just don't remember because, of course, we go through programming of, just being raised on earth, on the society, on the um, um, parenting styles and all sorts. So, yes, it's just remembering who you are, back to who you are, and what can you become. Yeah. And I'm just looking at the book here, and it means, um, yeah, speaking about your voicing your awareness to yourself, never hiding it away, and allow it to breathe the fresh air and be held in the gaze of wonder. Yeah, you are um, in a way you are in contact with that darkness, but you're also detaching because you're breaking free from that perhaps coping mechanism that you just realized you were holding, or that behavior that you realize that you're holding. And right before that trigger, and you're right there releasing it. The same with energy shift. Sometimes perhaps there's situations that it doesn't trigger you anymore, you've worked through it, but somehow there's an energy that just plays out with you, and it plays out with the other person like a mirror, and you think, why is it playing out? And it's all down to energy choreography. I would like to take one from here. And right now, I'll be honest, my energy wants to constrict. I can feel it. Something that I realized today. But I'm sitting here and I'm breathing. As I'm shuffling, I'm breathing. And I'm telling myself that I need to continue to stay expanded, to receive these messages, to be able to share these messages with you today. And this is my energy choreography that perhaps I realized today that I have been constricting. I go into expansion, but I constrict, I bring it back in really quickly. And that's because of what was in the environment as I was growing up. I wanted to bring it back in for protection, for self-protection. And then what I started to do was to not expend that energy because I felt I had to bring it back at some point anyway. And I remember a few years back understanding that I was very constricted, very suppressed, and I managed to break through that. But today I realized the energy choreography. I was very expanded today. I was in nature, a beautiful place, waterfall, and as soon as I drove away, I felt the constriction of my energy coming back, and I thought, right, I totally get it now. It was an aha moment of the year, I think. And I understand now why certain things that I put out there, when it feels really right, it's amazing, but when it doesn't, there's less views, there's less everything. Yeah, so it's all making sense that my energy was playing out through that video in that way, and I didn't even realize. So it's very important, if you are if you are becoming aware of this, if you are asking these questions, perhaps this is one path you could experiment and take and ask to become aware and see if it is for you. You don't have to do it, of course, but see if it is for you. Perhaps you've tried everything and this is a new understanding, a new concept, a new perspective. Okay, so I'm taking, and Joseph of Arimathea, plant your intentions deep. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And when you are expanded, which I was at the waterfall, and I was looking up the mountain just like that, and the waterfall's coming down here, and there's a few stones at the top as well that looks a bit like a circle, a stone circle. I set my intentions, and it felt so easy to set the intentions from that space in my energy field, that space in my mindset, that space in my heart. Yeah. When we are constricted and suppressed, perhaps we are in a very low vibration. Sometimes we are trying to protect ourselves, we are trying to escape, we're trying to make it stop. You know what I'm talking about. And we set the intentions that we don't want that anymore. That also is a way of setting intention, but it's coming from the pain. And perhaps it, with if you had a very traumatic childhood, you will be trying to set intentions for something to stop from a very constricted, suppressed and painful places. But you have gone back and you have maybe even relived some of the traumas, but released it and healed. You know true well you have healed. You have changed your reality. You're a whole different person now. And you're able to expand yourself, you're able to expand your heart, and you're able to set intentions from these places. And when it happens, and you know this. And this is the code of 369 manifestation. This is how we manifest from these expanded spaces, not just the mind, not just the heart, but now we're learning that there is that space of the energy. And can you train your energy? Can you reorganize your energy, rebalance your energy to expand and sustain the expansion longer? Maybe we can. I don't know. Maybe I'll step into that journey at some point. I don't know, but maybe we can. Yeah. If we can train ourselves to suppress our energy field to protect ourselves in traumatic events that are frequent, that happens all the time, maybe perhaps we can train our energy to expand. Why not? Yeah. And that's how we set intentions. That's how we set intentions. And I would like to do one more card. I'll go for this one. And I'll be shuffling again because I haven't shuffled these. And I'm working through trusting. I want to be surprised. I want to be in awe of this magic that we are creating here. And a little bit more, expanding my heart, sustaining the expansion. I felt it going again, and I just wanted to expand a little bit more. And perhaps we can train ourselves to work through that expansion. Same as training our heart to open again. Same as training to open our consciousness again. It all happens in those little moments of the everyday. Those little moments of the everyday. A lot can happen in ceremonies. A lot can happen in healing therapies. But a lot can also happen in our everyday. There is no there. I think I'm going to get the book for this one. But it's a beautiful, beautiful picture. Look how open this person is. Expanded into the energy. She's sending energy out. She's receiving energy out. Her guides are next to her, the elements. She's halfway floating, not even touching the ground. And I think it's just that place of expansion that perhaps we can get ourselves to at times in meditation or in very exciting and happy moments. And then we struggle sometimes to go back in meditation and replicate that. And maybe it's not about the mantra, maybe it's not about the affirmation anymore. Maybe it's about the energy field, the energy shift. And I go back to energy choreography. Can we train our energy to you know, to do that. And I think we can, you know, the more I'm reading these cards, the more I am sure of it. So I am going to kind of quickly read. To live in the present moment is a miracle. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to appreciate the peace and beauty that are available now. And this is so true. And there's actually a mantra here: no matter what I do or where I go, I will always be here, right where I'm supposed to be. And this brings the trust that you are in the right place at the right time. This brings the trust that you are following the flow of your energy of the universe, and you are responding through intuition, refining your intuition, and allowing yourself to flow through that magic. The efforts are coming, everything's falling into place, the universe is delivering, and you are sustaining that through the day, able to continue with that expansion. I remember one time there was a little pattern we were getting to after school, after picking up from school and going home, and there's a little pattern, and there's a bit of frustration happening, and I was asking, why is this pattern happening? And the moment I asked, I got the answer, you know, within a couple of days. And I took my son out for after school for something else, and as we're coming back home, I felt an energy constriction, almost as if, oh, I don't want to go home, oh, home will be boring, or home, it means the day's over and I gotta go, you know, eat, brush teeth, sleep, and all that. And I realized that that energy was constricting. It wasn't coming just from me, but it was coming from my child as well, and I felt it. And I realized that, you know, even a routine can cause some sort of energy choreography in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day lives. And that frustration was coming through, and then I realized, wait a minute, we need to expand this. So we started doing more things that, you know, even just outside the house, just to be able to be more open to the fresh air, and the frustration started to phase out, and within a few days that pattern wasn't there anymore. And I did this without realizing this concept of energy choreography, but I did feel that change of energy as we were approaching the home. So maybe there is moments in your life that you feel very expanded, and I'm gonna say this without guilt. Years ago, when I was going through very heavy healing and everything, but then going, sometimes when you go through a heavy release, the next day you're very euphoric, you're very open, you're very there's a lot of love in your heart, and you just want to do everything. And I remember experiencing this, and as soon as everyone come home, everyone was in that routine, in that energy routine, and you know, it just felt like a big wall. And I thought, come on guys, this is amazing. And that was the one day for me, right? Because I was still going through a lot of healing, so I knew I was going to probably go through another dark side of the night of the soul in the next night, but I knew I was going to have another lovely day after that. And I remember having that push and pull. So yeah, it's just coming to mind now, and I think that that's what was playing out as well, right? Energy choreography. Our energy choreography doesn't just play just within ourselves, okay, and situations, but it can play back and forth with other people's energy, and they might not be aware, they might be aware, but it only needs one person to be aware, because then you have that choice. Do you want to play in that energy? It's the same choice. Do you want to play in that drama? Okay, and now you're using words, you're using behaviors, you're using people's coping mechanism. But when that's all gone and you don't see it, but then there's something playing out, could that be energy? Okay, so yeah, it's quite an amazing card, and I like this one, and I just want to kind of reinforce these two cards. So if you want to join our Patreon community, we meet every Thursday. You can claim a free session if as you sign up to the Patreon, which is the link on description. sign up as a free member. And as you sign up, you're going to see the post with the free Zoom link that you can join every Thursday night, 7 or 7:30 p.m. UK time. What we do, we merge together, we open our hearts, we share stories. Sometimes the stories come with a pattern because it's a collective group, right? And through that pattern, we work through releasing that pattern. And then we work through a clarity, the clarities that came after the healing. And then we close with the heart chakra. It can change the order, it can be slightly organically different because we go according to the group. But these are the aspects that can happen within the hour session, the hour and a half session. And it's very loving. We have the group support afterwards. So sometimes we finish off talking on WhatsApp the next day, and then halfway through the week, another clarity comes up, people share, and it helps all the people's puzzles. So it's a very healing group, and I would love to see you there. If you're struggling to find the link or sign up to Patreon, just message me, and then I'll try to assist you. I look forward to seeing you, and thank you so much for being here.